parents, this video today is for you. I'm going to show you how to make some paints at home using some very simple ingredients. You just need 3 main ingredients and some bits of equipment. So you'll just need plain flour, some salt and water. That's all that goes into it apart from the food coloring. And I'm going to use a spoon and a cup, some brushes. I've got a measuring jug, and this is what I'm going to put my paint in. You can use ice cube trays, you can use cupcake trays like me. You could also use cups or jars, depending on how much paint that you want to make and how many colors. I especially love this recipe because it's so simple. You just need equal parts of everything. So I'm going to go ahead and do 1 cup of everything, but you could do 1 tablespoon or you could do 2 cups of everything. It's really up to you. So first I'm going to do the salt, and I'm just going to mix it all into this mixing jug here. 1 cup of salt in there. 1 cup of flour. It doesn't have to be exactly right, just approximate. 1 cup of flour, and finally 1 cup of water. The pouring and all the scooping is a great time to get your children involved in making the paint with you. Get them to help measure, help tip, scoop it all up, and ooh, we've got the water in there. I'm going to go and mix it all together, and let's see what it's like. So this paint is good because you can make it however you want. If you want it thinner, if you want it thicker for more like a finger paint, you can go ahead and add more flour. You could water it down more if you want as well. Alright, it's all mixed up now, so I'm going to tip a little bit into 6 of these. Just, oop, that's probably a little bit too much. Just a blob. Is fine. And I've only got 3 food colors, and that's because with yellow, red and blue you can make any color you want, and it's a good opportunity to teach your children how different colors are made as well. So first I'm going to do one that's just blue. I'm going to do one that's just yellow, and I'm going to do one that's just red. And I'm going to mix 2 colors together here. I'm actually probably tipping a bit too much in. I'm going to make one that's an orange color, so I'm going to mix red and yellow. And my favorite color all time is turquoise. I'm going to see if I can make a turquoise one. So that's yellow and blue. Alright, I'm going to grab a brush, mix together this one first. Ooh, it's very blue. You can add more or less coloring depending on what shade you want it to be. I'm going to use the same brush to mix this one together. This one is looking almost black because I've tipped way too much coloring in there. That's okay, we learn. Alright, I'm going to put some water in here so I can wash my brushes, like my black brush. Put that in there. I'll get a new brush for this one, which is our yellow. It kind of is orange just because I use so much coloring. And this color here is our red and yellow mixed together, which is kind of just red. This one is our red food dye. So they're kind of just 2 different shades. And our last color is hopefully a greeny sort of color. Yep, it's looking pretty green. Okay, my advice to you would be to use a bigger cupcake tray or use cups, because mine are overflowing, and even just a couple of drops of color was probably a bit too much. That's okay. All right, let's test out our paints. I'm going to use the green one first. On here, let's see what it's like. It's nice and goopy. And honestly, it's pretty similar to our paints at Jumbo, only it's like got a little bit more grain in it. But probably if you kept mixing it, or if you dissolved the salt into hot water rather than using cold water, I imagine that would disappear then. All right, let's try a bit of blue. All right, so this is how our colors turned out. They're very bright and colorful. I definitely recommend doing it thicker rather than thinner. It's sort of quite a fun paint to do thick, and you can spread it out really easily. The colors worked really well. The color that I thought was black actually turned out to be like a nice navy blue. So if you put too much color in it, I wouldn't really worry actually. It looks quite good. Good luck with it, guys. Let me know how you go. I'd love to see pictures of your paint and what you can create. All right, I'm gonna do one more paint recipe while I'm here just because it is so easy, and that's watercolor paints. It's literally just water and food coloring, and you can make beautiful paints that spread out lovely, ones that are see-through, ones that are thicker, ones that are more like ink. It's really up to you how you make them, but I'll show you how I make mine. I'm actually going to put the food coloring in first this time rather than the water first. So let's start with a little bit of red. Let's do a little bit of yellow. Ooh, that was a lot of yellow. A little bit of blue. More blue here. With some yellow in it. And let's do some yellow with red. And let's do some red and blue. And then I'm going to go add the water in there. Careful not to overspill it. They're going to look really dark when they're in there, but they should spread out nicely. Alright, I'm going to test these and I'll show you how. And this is how our watercolors turned out. Really beautifully. They spread so nicely. I love how the colors bleed into each other. You can do really good dripping effects with this. The kids at Jumbo love splatting them, putting them on the brush and flicking them and watching all the little dots appear. So much fun and so easy. And the great thing about these is when you're finished with them, you can actually freeze them in the freezer. Is really great. You can use them as ice cube paints the next day, or you can put them in bowls and melt them to use them again. So easy and so much fun. The great thing about both these paints is they're both non-toxic because they're made of pantry ingredients. If your child puts it in their mouth, or it goes on their hand, which then goes in their mouth, the great thing about these is you have nothing to worry about. Amazing. Let me know how you go, guys. I would love to see how your paint turns out and what your child can create with it. Goodbye.